Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you call home on planet Earth. You guys are in for a treat in this video. Stick around, don't go anywhere. You're going to see something open up in the nighttime sky. Appears to be maybe a thunderstorm, at least an energetic cloud, unusually energetic, and you're going to see something very obviously dart at a very high rate of speed out of what looks like a purple portal. You can't make this stuff up. Seriously, you can't. Christine, Organic Machine. What's up, guys? Thanks for stopping by. Saying hi to you guys in the chat. You know, in the afternoons, we're all business. In the morning, it's a little more casual. I do a live stream in the morning, live stream in the afternoon. But in the afternoon, like you can't see, but you're going to see what I've got on the runway here in just a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Have 10, 9 down there, and I've got 15 open up here. So I'm trying to manage about 24 windows and videos at the same time. However, if you guys have any questions, send a super chat. You guys know how to do the super chat over here. It creates a yellow banner, red banner, orange banners, and I'll answer your questions if you have any specific questions. In this video, you're looking at the Soho Lascaux C3. There was a huge eruption earlier this morning. We talked about it. I just want to touch on it briefly. It created what's called a canyon of fire on the surface of the sun. You can see the large filament that was held aloft above the surface of the northeastern limb of the sun. It erupted. And when it erupted, it took gigatons of plasma with it. Right there, as you're going to see, right there. Part of it is coming towards the Earth. That's what you're seeing on the Soho Lascaux C3. The plasma, the CME component, and there's the canyon of, that's what they call it. They call it the canyon of fire. That's between 200,000 and 300,000 miles long. That was at least 20,000 miles high. I know it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around that. Mine too, to be honest with you, but I've been watching this for years. Those are very rare, by the way. Super rare. And there's been one kind of dangling off the southwestern limb of the sun. It's detached a little bit, not a whole lot, but there is some energy coming towards the Earth. You can see the one right there off the southwestern limb and the northeastern limb. So activity on the sun is picking up. Look for activity to pick up on Earth. Not that it needs any help. Things are going absolutely bonkers down here with the flash flooding and the earthquake activity, the ongoing swarms, the hurricane update. I want to give you guys a hurricane update. I do have a freaky flashing light phenomenon update to share with you guys. And a possible theory, a new theory. Deep space. I finally got the deep space video done. And then crazy skies video. All kinds of stuff. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Here is the latest update. We're watching this area very close in the northern Gulf of America. You guys always correct me when I get that wrong. And thank you. I want you to correct me. I've been calling that Gulf of Mexico for 20 years. So it's still kind of hardwired in my mind like that, even though it is now officially the Gulf of America. I got you. Here's a look at the possible formation of a storm system in the northern Gulf on the 17th, which is less than 48 hours from now. In fact, right around 48 hours from now. This is what could be going on. You can see a very large center of rotation anchored at the very southern tip of New Orleans, or Louisiana right now. Counterclockwise motion going into New Orleans, bringing potentially heavy rain into southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, moving into southeastern Texas over the next, I don't know, once it makes landfall, if it becomes an organized storm. Even if it doesn't, it's going to rain a lot. Just know that. You could see anywhere from 2 inches to possibly 8 inches down here in this area right here. And we don't need any more flash flooding, but it's coming. You guys have seen the flash flooding. It's happening again today. Yeah, I mean, things are getting really weird. They are. We've been seeing cars float down roads that have turned into rivers here recently. This is one of the many scenes out of New Jersey. It looked like this in New York. It looked like this in Pennsylvania. streets just overwhelmed with water. The storm drains can't keep up. It's raining at such a fast and furious pace that the drains can't handle it. So we're talking 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches per hour when you see stuff like this. This is just off the rails. This is what happened in Central Texas. What's causing this? You know, that's the question. You got to ask, what's causing all this heavy rain? Is it the continuous? And I've been watching this for months down here in the Central America, just above the equator, the Mexican Yucatan. There's been a slug of moisture down there that's working its way to the north, and it looks like it's been working its way to the north the last couple of days. We've been seeing outbursts of very heavy rain. We saw a couple of locations while we were doing yesterday afternoon's live. Central Florida saw 8 and 9 inches of rain in Plant City yesterday afternoon. They're saying in a 4-hour period, but to me, it happened much quicker than that. So it's happening again today, guys. In fact, let me show you. Let me just put this thing in motion. I'm sorry, I meant to have it in motion. Here we go. You're looking at the last 36. There's yesterday's activity. Very weird storm system that went through Florida. It was kind of like moving in an odd direction. Here we go. This is today. Moisture building up along the northern tier in northern Wisconsin, Minnesota, through the Dakotas, parts of Michigan. We'll probably see power outages in Nebraska. Let me pause it right here. There we go. This is right now. This is what's going on. You can see storms brewing in southern Illinois, western Tennessee. I mentioned Nebraska earlier, Florida again, the Florida Panhandle, southern Alabama, starting to brew again over in the Carolinas. This is what's happening. If you guys are in any of this activity, leave a comment in the chat room. We'll look at the power outages real quick because I have a feeling power outages are going to increase over the next 2 or 3 hours as the storms are going to strengthen. And then as the sun goes down, they'll more than likely tone down a little bit. But right now they're very strong. You can see the power outages right now showing 12,800 in North Carolina. That's 12,800 too many. We don't want to see anybody off the power grid, especially during the summer when it's hot and humid. 19,283 in California. There's no storms in California. I'm assuming that's some sort of an energy saving program that they got going on out there. Not really sure, but I do know that they're on the power outage map every single day, it seems like. We're going to come back and talk about what we're seeing here on the SOHO LASCO C3, how it interacts with the Earth, and how it may be causing some weirdness on the Earth that people have been seeing. We talked about a fireball, not a fireball, well, we did see one above Destin, Florida. There was a massive asteroid that went past the Earth on the 11th of July. And when we looked at the list, the near-Earth asteroid list, in fact, we'll take a quick look at it before we look at this. Hold on just a second, guys. Going over to spaceweather.com. This is where the near-Earth asteroid list is at. And you scroll down to the bottom. And if you look at the 11th, we looked at the 11th and we saw this big asteroid coming, making a close approach, not necessarily super close to the Earth. This one right here, 397 meters wide. That's really big. That's over 1,000 feet wide. Well, at the time, there were only 3 that were detected on the 11th. Well, as you can see, there's a new one that was highlighted on the 11th at 1.1 LD because these things don't travel alone. And sure enough, there was an increase in, that was a new one they found right as that big asteroid was coming near the Earth. This one came into the atmosphere. It got pulled in by Earth's gravity. This was on the 9th. This was kind of ahead of the pack. The smaller ones, there it is right there. There was an increase in overall meteorite activity on the Earth, the 9th, 10th, and then of course right there it is, the 11th. That's the new one that didn't impact the Earth, but there was one that did at least enter the atmosphere and was detected above Destin, Florida, right there. And I'm sure there were others. And you got to keep in mind, the vast majority of these events are out over the ocean because the ocean is 70% water. Most of us don't live out on the ocean. We live on 30%. We don't even occupy 30% of the land. We probably occupy 10% of the land, if that. So to even see a fireball in the sky like that is actually kind of rare, because we are, so small. We don't take up that much space on the Earth. Most of them are out over the ocean. Speaking of ocean, you can see the shades of pink and white right here. This is where the water is kind of, I don't know, it's upwelling down around the coast of Antarctica. And you can see the shades of pink and white, dark pink. That's evidence of salinity and CO2 around the northern edge of Antarctica. So that's a big deal. It's going to change weather patterns. We're seeing flash flooding now on a daily basis. There's more activity up here along the northern tier today, as I just showed you guys on the GOES 19. There's also activity down here in Florida. We'll look at that here in detail here in just a moment, but there is more flash flooding. That's what these little circles represent. Flash flooding in southern Virginia, northern North Carolina, high winds and hail up here in northern Nebraska and southern South Dakota. We'll talk about that more here in just a little bit. Here's some of the river gauges. I found one in northern Pennsylvania that went vertical. In just a matter of a few hours, couple hours, it went up 22 feet. I don't know if that was an anomaly or if it was something else, but we're watching the river gauges go up. You can see the one down here in Florida that didn't get to major flood stage, but it got up to an area of concern where sometimes the water can go out of its banks. Let's see what this one here did. This one's a new one. It wasn't on there earlier today. These are river gauges. Oh yeah, that almost reached flood stage. That's down in Central Florida where they saw the super heavy rainfall yesterday afternoon. I want to show you guys some crazy skies, and then we're going to get to what looks like a portal that opens up in the sky. Something darts out of the portal. There's no denying it. It is an absolutely fascinating video. We're going to come back and take a look at that here in a minute. I'm going to show you guys something in deep space. These videos that you're about to see are unique. As far as I know, they've only been shared with me. I analyze them and I share them with you. A lot of this stuff is nowhere else in the world, and it's just the truth. I get videos from all around the world, so here we go. Check this out. Crazy skies. These are some photos that I've gotten here recently, and you can see the skies have been putting on quite a show. If you're just halfway paying attention, you guys are going to see something if you look up Pelham, North Carolina, Scott Rice. This video was from yesterday. Big pink beam spanning across the sky. He said in the video, did something go wrong with the matrix? Was there a glitch in the matrix? Dan out of Florida. You can see it, the sky is covered with predominantly normal looking clouds, right? With the exception of this thing right here just kind of hanging around by itself that looks like I don't know, a wafer in the sky, a rectangle wafer. But as I modify this thing, you're going to see something on the back side of this that almost, it's a unnatural looking curve. You'll see what I mean. It looks like it could have been something else. Okay, look at the back right here. See how it looks unnatural back here on the back? Check this out. Right in there, you can see a little divot. It's too smooth. And it's too symmetrical. It doesn't look natural. You'll see it again here in just a moment. In a little slightly different format. Just a rogue and random weird cloud hanging around. He happened to see that, took a picture of it because it just looked so out of place. It didn't fit in with the rest of the clouds. I probably would have taken a picture of it too, to be honest with you. Also out of Florida, this is equally, if not more bizarre. Notice the 90-degree angles in the sky. Notice the triangle in the sky. There was something in the sky of intelligent origin. No joke, you can't make this stuff up. Clouds don't behave this way naturally. They can't. So here we go. You tell me. Things are getting weird and people are starting to talk. They're asking questions, you know. How's something like this happening? What's going on in the skies above the earth? People want to know. They're curious, you know. They're wide awake. You guys in the chat over here, You are wide awake and on the ball. You're very bright people. You don't miss a trick. You know this stuff's going on. But what is it? There you go. Look at that straight line. Perfect edge. You can tell there's something in those clouds right there. Trying to use the clouds as camouflage, but it's not working out too well. The clouds are revealing something there. And in fact, some of the clouds right there were I don't know, a bit of an unusual color. You can see like a teal maybe. And then at times you'll see what looks like a light red pink. That could be ice crystals. It really could. Not necessarily anything nefarious. Not saying that this is anything nefarious. It just doesn't look right, man. That is not normal. There was something up there. What an incredible catch by Dan. He sent that to me on the sideline. And then over here to the left, looks like it's got two parts. I kept working it and working it and working it. And this is one of the things that I was working on. This is just a single photograph, but I spent a lot of time working on this photograph. Look on the back side of this thing. There's something else there. Again, this is unique, as far as I know, only between me and him. Nobody else in the world has seen this, except maybe other people on the ground. He was alert enough to take a picture of it because he knew it just looked so out of place. Look at the lines back there. There's something behind. You have a horizontal line back here. You have a vertical line here. You have what looks like a triangle in the center, 90-degree angles in front of the triangle. Here you go. Make this make sense. Look at that. You can't make this stuff up. We're not making it up. This is really happening in your skies. Yeah, and you never know when or where it's going to show up. It's like the flashing lights. They're rogue and random. Something is interfering with the flow of electricity. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's this little guy right here, this big guy right here. Maybe it's pulling energy from the Earth to navigate around the Earth. I don't know. You tell me what's up. Here's another view. And what I did, all of these views, these are the same photograph. I just simply modified the light, the color, maybe added a little bit of color. I didn't alter the overall image, just played around with the light a little bit to try to pull forward more features, like we saw the back features of this thing that you don't see in this photo here, but they're there. There's something back here. This thing is much bigger than it appears. Not a natural cloud. People are talking. People are talking about this stuff. There's another good view. I just kind of, when you're analyzing photos and videos, it's a give and take situation. You know, you maybe got to give up a little bit of something to gain something else, and it's never a perfect world. Sometimes it works out pretty good, but you can see it's a little heavy saturation, but it amplified the 90-degree angles there in the straight line. We don't see the line in the back anymore, but in the other image, in the one image, and I'm glad I used it here, you can kind of see the color a little bit. That could have, in all honesty, been a side effect of ice crystals. We've seen that before. That's not necessarily anything uncommon. This, however, is very uncommon. And this was my favorite one. You can see the features in the back. So this was apparently one large semi-transparent craft up in the sky doing what? I have no idea. He didn't know either. It wasn't making any sound. It again was trying to blend in with the clouds. Very, very weird. Like that cloud there just looked totally out of place. So those are very rare photos, guys. As far as I know, haven't been seen anywhere else in the world but here. I want to take you guys now out of this world. You ready? Here we go. This one here I worked on quite a bit, off and on. I tried to keep as good a clarity as I could. The video is a great video out of Michigan. Real dark sky up there in Michigan by Jim out of Messick, Michigan, from the night of July 8th, 2025. Here we go. Watch up here at the top of the screen. And look at all the stars. Man, he's got a beautiful view of the nighttime sky, right? Well, he noticed some movement in the nighttime sky. Not only one thing, there's multiple things moving. This just happened to be the brightest and not quite the biggest. You're going to see an even bigger one right there. Here it comes, moving in a diagonal direction. The one above it was a little harder to see. That's the one that I worked the hardest trying to pull in because it was so that was outside the atmosphere. I think both of those were outside the atmosphere because they don't show any signs of friction. When a meteorite becomes a meteorite, that means it's entered the atmosphere, and the friction of the atmosphere and the molecules in the atmosphere are what causes the tail and the sublimation of the space rock. This thing isn't going sublime, so that tells you that it's outside the atmosphere. Okay, this thing was buzzing either around the Earth, in Earth's orbit, or flying by the Earth. Right there it is. And the light, it's either self-powered or the light is coming off the sun because it's maybe rotating in an unusual way and it's reflecting sunlight, because up that high, it can and will reflect sunlight. It's difficult to tell because it's thousands and thousands of feet in the sky, and I don't even think it's in our sky. And again, like the photo that I just shared with you guys, I modified the format here to try to pull forward any possible features that we can't see in the original. Right there, it got real bright. That's sometimes what an iridium flare will do, but that's not a satellite. Real bright right there. There it does again. It's bright and dim, almost as if it's maybe rotating as it's moving. I don't know. I found it very unusual. He did too. He took the video from Michigan. Beautiful nighttime sky up there. Stars galore. How about that? This is a different format. This isn't the original format. You can see the stars look much brighter, but like I said earlier, it's a kind of a give and take. I got the stars brighter. You can see the object better, but unfortunately, I had to compromise and give up a little bit of pixelation. That's what I mean by give and take. I got a brighter view of the object there, but the pixelation isn't quite where I would like it. Obviously, sometimes I can convert these into 4K, but this was not one of those that I could convert to 4K. If I could have, trust me, I would have. Here it is, modified and in fast forward. Sometimes working with objects in the darkness of the nighttime sky, if you put them in fast forward, you can see them better, as you're going to see in a video example here in just a moment, including this one here. Here we go. See it moving through the sky? I don't think it's in the sky. That's outside the atmosphere. If that was inside the atmosphere, it would have a tail. It would be subject to the atmospheric molecules, the density of the atmosphere, and create friction. There's no friction there. That thing's moving along under its own power, apparently. It's a deep space object, or at least, pretty deep. Here's the larger object that entered the field of view. Look at that. Now, in all fairness, this could have been a possible Earth orbiting satellite. The other one wasn't. It was much different. And this one here, I kind of have my doubts. It's rather big. It was moving, rather fast. Doesn't necessarily look as deep as the other one. We'll look at it one more time. Wait till you guys see the portal. You think that's moving fast. That was at an extremely high altitude, and so was the other one. The two that you're about to see here coming up, I've got my handy dandy little list here. I've showed you the Florida 5 Crazy Skies, high-speed UFO. No, I haven't showed you the high-speed ones yet. Deep space, we just left deep space. Hurricane update, we've done that. What else have I got? I got a ton of stuff for you guys. Do I have this one twice? I do have it twice. That's okay, because I only need one. And I've got the one on the runway ready for you guys. Oh yeah, okay, it's the one with the S. All right, cool. We're getting to that here in just a moment. Hey, Graham. Hey, Terry. Mary Wren. Thanks for the Star family members. New Star family, well, not necessarily new, but you guys are indeed Star family members. I can tell because you have stars by your name. Super cool. Appreciate that. If you guys have any super chats, super questions, bring them on. Now's the time to do it. I'm just reorganizing here. I'm trying to see what I've shared with you guys and what I have not. So hang on with me just a minute. Quick look at Yellowstone. I did some research on the whole Yellowstone thing. I talked about it this morning in case you guys hadn't heard. There supposedly animals migrating south from the Yellowstone National Park, like they're migrating away from. maybe the supervolcano, you know. Um, I heard that one of the videos that I saw that was actually in an article that I shared with you guys this morning of some bears moving through the park. They say that was old. That was an old video. However, there's a video going around of what look like mountain lions that are moving through the national park, and they're moving south. And I think that one, I think that one was a newer video. However, I don't think it's necessarily anything, you know, of substance. You know, like okay, the volcano's getting ready to erupt, and the animals are moving south. I don't think that's the case. I think it was just some people were in the right place at the right time. Usually animals move to follow the food, so their food source probably moved south, and they moved south with it. Here's looking at the Atlantic Ocean, our wonderful dust plume from West Africa. Isn't that great? Yeah, that travels 4,000 miles to welcome you along the coasts of Florida, South and North Carolina, especially down here in the Caribbean, the Lesser Antilles, the Greater Antilles, the islands of the Caribbean. Isn't that just a jewel? Those are very small particulates that are able to become aloft and travel all the way across the ocean. And they are very real because I've seen pictures of them in sunrises from the coast of Florida. The dust particles will make the sun purple. So if you're probably anywhere in Florida, South Carolina, any side of Florida, doesn't matter, east or west side, here in about, I don't know, maybe a week, this will continue to make its way to the west. You'll be seeing purple sunrises because of this Sahara. It's not necessarily sand, it's more of a dust particulate than anything. Looking at the, oh, I see green over there, reality check. The seismographs look like a lead is off of the sensor. You know what? It could be reality check. Let's go back to that. Thank you for the super chat. That's really cool. You know, it's been like this for over a month. Look at that. Isn't that weird? It's been like that for over a month. So you would think whoever monitors these, I mean, I monitor them, but I'm not in a position to go repair them. Whoever is in charge of these would probably go repair them. I mean, maybe they're waiting on a part or something, if that is the case. And that's something that we brought up, that yes, this could be a side effect of a defective machine. Maybe it's broken, but it almost looks like the ground is up there moving, you know, in a nefarious way. Maybe there's a new geyser forming up there. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility. That's why these things are there. They're there to detect movement. So we can't ignore the fact that, hey, something's moving. Is it the sensor of the seismograph that's gone faulty? It could be. I would say that could be the case here at Horse Butte. Notice the diagonal patterns. I don't think the ground is necessarily moving in a perfect diagonal line like you see right there. So that tells me, that's why I never talk about it. That tells me that that's more than likely a faulty sensor. You're very right, reality. But this one here, it is all over town. So I don't know, you know, it looks a little nefarious to me. So we'll have to wait and see. You guys ready for this portal? Man, you're in for a treat. What's up, Owl Hippie? Thank you for the super chat reality check. And thank you for the comment. That was very, very observant. And you're right. Sometimes it can be a faulty sensor. That equipment is super sensitive. And those machines, just like any machine, can and will break. You know, it's just part of how things work. Sometimes they don't work. Okay, you guys are in for a treat here. Once again, a lot of this footage that you're seeing here, you won't see anywhere else. It was shared with me. People send me things every day from all around the world. Something moving, you're going to see two things. One in the daytime sky, one in the nighttime sky. Here we go. Butler, Indiana. Just saw another. Polenta Forest. Hey, Polenta, thank you. Rachel Robinson, 7:13 to 15. You guys ready? Watch close. I'm going to slow down and zoom in. You're going to see an object. Now, this first one is in slow motion. Thank you, Polenta. You're very kind. The first one is in slow motion. Then I'm going to put it in at regular speed. This thing's moving at well over 1,000 miles an hour. Check it out. Did you see it? Probably missed it, right? Now, this is the original video in slow motion. Right there it goes, went behind the cloud, came out on the other side of the cloud, and accelerated. Here we go again. Let me back it up in case you missed it. I'm going to show you right where it's at and right where to look. It's over here. It appears over here on the left. Thank you, Polenta. I'll get back to your question in just a second. And then it moves across the screen left to right. And then when I put it in regular speed, you'll see exactly how fast this thing was going. Right up here. Here we go. That's in slow motion. Are you serious? There it is. Whoa, what was that thing, right? It wasn't a drone. Here it is in an inverted format. There it goes. Looked like a tic-tac. Regular speed, watch this. Watch how fast this thing, regular speed. No way, man. Regular speed. Wow, what a great catch. Something above, right there it is again. Watch over here, this is regular speed. Okay, here it comes again. Unbelievable, unbelievable indeed. Now you're going to see what looks like a portal in the top of a cloud. Thank you, Polenta. Let me, Polenta has, yeah, Polenta, you do have some exceptional skies over there in California. I totally believe you. I have received so many, thank you, Polenta. I appreciate the super chat. I received so many photos and videos from Polenta. Northern California has some very interesting skies for sure. Thank you, Polenta, once again. Brandon, Mississippi, Sadie, 7/11, 2025, 8:59 p.m. Driving down the road, monitoring a storm system in front of her. At least it looks like a storm system. There's some energetic clouds over here, as you're going to see. Watch what happens here. This is in super slow motion. I don't think we were supposed to see that. I'm going to zoom in, take a closer look. This is in, that's 150 times slow motion. We're going to slow it down even more. I'm going to modify the color just a little bit. See it open up? And you're going to see like a shock wave move the top of the clouds. Something darted out of the top of that cloud right there. Check this out. See the shock wave right there? See it? There it goes. Watch the shock wave right there. Cloud opens up. Everything's pitch dark, right? Everything's super cool. Then all of a sudden, bright purple gets brighter just right there at the top, opens up, and then this thing right there, you can see the cloud kind of like it felt some energy. It bounced back, and that thing took off faster than the object we just saw in the daytime. I wouldn't even begin to know how fast that thing was going. I don't even want to speculate. It was in like 3 frames? What? Okay, here we go. Regular speed. Actually, this is super slow motion. This is 250 times slow motion. Just so we could see it. But it did originate from the top of that cloud bank. This is just another cloud that they saw as they were driving along. But 2 objects in less than a week spotted in day and nighttime sky, moving at unbelievable speeds. Here it is again. Came out of the top of that cloud. And again, like the other things that we've seen, it was as if they were, watch the shock wave right there. See how the cloud kind of bounced back a little bit? You can't make this stuff up, man. That wasn't a bird. It wasn't a bug. It was at 8:59 at night. That was a physical object that came out of the top of that cloud. The cloud opened up, turned purple, and something took off at, we'll just say a few thousand miles per hour. I wouldn't even begin to know because we don't have anything to compare it to. I mean, other than it cleared that field of view right there at an unbelievable speed right there. You can see the cloud like jolt back. I don't know. Very fascinating stuff right there. Great catch. And that was out of Brandon, Mississippi. Very cool. Great job, guys. You don't miss a trick. Keep them coming. If you guys have any photos or videos you'd like to share, you can come over here to the homepage of the website. Right here is a great place to send large videos. Click on that tab. It's a Dropbox. Super simple. Just include your first name, date, and location. You can also send photos and videos to reports at mrmbb333.com. But sometimes the videos don't attach to the email if they're a little big. No big deal. Just go over here to the Dropbox. You can put a 2-hour video in there if you want to. No problem. Okay, guys, going over my handy dandy little note card here. I've showed you the Florida fireball, the crazy skies, the high-speed UFOs, the deep space, hurricane update. Yeah, keep an eye on that hurricane, possible hurricane that could be forming. It is forming right now. The conditions are very favorable out here in the northern Gulf of America. And we could see Dexter. I don't know that Dexter is going to form. Dexter might. We'll see. I personally, I think it's going to bring a lot of rain. I think it's going to be a organized tropical depression. That's what I think it's going to be. Yeah, it looks big and a little bit ominous on this future cast, but I don't think it's going to have enough time. It might. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, we're still going to watch it super close. Guys, looking at the SOHO LASCO C3, just here in the last 24 hours, we've had an abundance of like hydrogen and helium come towards the Earth. Well, what if, just what if, some of that helium was getting through the atmosphere somehow and interfering with these mysterious, freaky flashing lights that people have been seeing? And I just got multiple videos today of these flashing lights from all around the world. What if the helium, the helium molecules were messing with up to 752 now here in the United States, 1,900 plus globally, and that's just me. I'm one person. Can you imagine if 1,000 people were collecting videos of mysterious flashing lights? It probably would. There would be tens of thousands of these examples. Here's example number one of this is an airplane hangar, an Air Force. Check this out. This is a very interesting video. Gardner, Texas, SAM 7/8 of 2025. Check this out. You can't make this stuff up. This is inside of an airplane hangar. Look at this right here. See that? It's a Learjet sitting there. Yeah, and look what's going on. So this energy, whatever it is, it can affect anything, anywhere. This is an Air Force hangar. What? Yeah, lights all over the hangar, malfunctioning, rogue and randomly for unknown reasons. Yeah, look at that. You can't make this stuff up, guys. Hey, Muffet Carol, thank you for the super chat. That is super cool. Keep them coming, guys. Right on. Thank you so much, Muffet Carol. Very, very kind of you. But look at the jet sitting there and the lights flashing above the jet. You got to be kidding me. These things are telling us a story. Lee Wilkins, not sure of the location, 7/7/2025. All of the lights underneath that canopy were malfunctioning. I'm just wondering if there's a helium component coming in the form of, like clouds wander around. You can see clouds back here wandering around, an invisible form of energy that's attaching to power lines, current carriers. It's affecting cars. This is affecting solar lights. It's not, it's rogue and random. And the lights again underneath that canopy. Look at that. All of them, not just one or two, all of them flashing for unknown reasons. And the lights over here on the gas station sign. So this is still a mystery. It's still ongoing. I get videos every day from a variety of places all around the world. I never know where they're going to come from or if they're going to come in. Here's a video out of St. Petersburg, Florida, sent in by Stephanie of not only, I think there were multiple lights here that she saw in this big parking lot. That was one there, and then two off in the distance. Another one over here. There were several. This was just a few nights ago. And that's obviously what compelled her to take the video. Florida has been a hot spot. Ohio has been a hot spot. I know that one's very bright. I'm going to go past it kind of quick. Here's number 4. Las Vegas, Nevada. Kane, 7/5 of 2025. Couldn't help but notice all the lights over here malfunctioning at a convenience store. The lights up on the canopy again. You just saw lights inside of an Air Force hangar. I mean, this stuff shows up rogue and randomly all around the world. Number 5, Scott Shane, 7/7 of 2025. This looks like a storage facility, and the lights just on this end of the storage facility, rogue and randomly, were malfunctioning for unknown reasons. That's what compelled him to take the video. I've got one more example to share with you guys, and we'll wrap it up, at least with the flashing lights, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that. This one here is out of Lawndale, California, and as you can see, July 5th of 2025, this is not slowing down. I'm still getting videos every day. That one there was super bright. We'll just kind of cruise on past that one and go to number 7, Augusta, Georgia. Kizzy, 7/6, 2025, driving down the road. Lights on the right-hand side of the road, malfunctioning for unknown reasons, and these are street lights. Seen street lights in Memphis, Florida, all across the country, even over in Cyprus in the middle of the, well, not necessarily in the middle, but in the Mediterranean Sea. I've gotten videos from their lights just like that, malfunctioning, and the gentleman that took the video and shared it with me had never seen anything like it. He'd seen the videos of us following these mysterious flashing lights, but he'd never seen anything like that over in Cyprus. But yes, on the island of Cyprus, it has happened, and it is happening, currently happened. I got that video, I don't know, about a month and a half ago. But this is what's happening today on the surface of the sun, the massive filament. And we looked at it over here at spaceweather.com. They were talking about the huge prominence. If we go back to yesterday, I think it would know, maybe the day before. It's been up there for several days. Yeah, right there. That right there is what jumped off the sun. All that plasma created what you're seeing here, right? There, that's the bottom one, and there. It's that stuff. Big, huge plasma canopy that detached. And you can see the size of the Earth right here and the moon compared to the size of the plasma canopy. There's no comparison. That's huge. So that's how these things can create geomagnetic storms. They're enormous size. But one thing that the Earth has in its favor, its advantage, if you will, is the Earth is smaller than most of these giant storms. So unless there's a dense pocket coming directly at the Earth, obviously you can see the vast majority of those storms go right past the Earth. But boy, if we could harness that energy, we wouldn't have to be digging into the ground like we do all over the Earth, unless we have to get that oil out of the ground and natural gas. I don't know, maybe so. My freezer alarm keeps going off. Hey, Darren, what's going on, guys? What's up, Tony? Hang out in the chat here for a little bit because flash flooding. I'm just looking at the 500 windows. Oh yeah, I was going to take a look at the weather. These are small pockets of very intense storms that are wreaking havoc. High winds. You can see the wind icons on here. You don't normally see that many. These are reports from people on the ground that are experiencing very high winds, hail. They're talking about tornado, that big blue corral you see right there. There's possibility of tornadoes there, even up here in the Minnesota, northern Wisconsin area. So if you guys are in these areas, have a plan, have an interior room with no glass, northern Wisconsin, central Minnesota, up into southern, where are we at? Southern is that Ontario? Where am I at here? Yeah, that would be Ontario. Yeah, that's going up into Canada. Look at the storm up there. Matagami, Shining Tree, Cartier, Elliott Lake. You guys are going to be experiencing thunderstorms too if you're not already. Storms are abundant. They've been abundant these last few days along the East Coast, all up and down the East Coast. Looking at the current situation, here we go. This is currently what's going on. Oh, thank you for the super chat, the God Within. Appreciate that. Let me give you a super like. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Anybody experiencing any flash flooding here recently? I know there's been plenty to go around, right? Polenta Forest, thank you for the dancing pear. That's cool. Thank you, Polenta. The teal pear. Right on. Thanks, Polenta. Appreciate that. Keep them coming, guys. Those are always cool. But as you can see, this is one of my favorite go-to satellites right here. I have used this satellite for I don't know how many years. I've seen this thing transition from GOES, I think, 11 all the way up to 19 now. And this is what we're using, GOES 19. And I'm seeing the moisture on here every day, have for months. And this moisture is moving north thanks to the anomaly out here in the Pacific Ocean. Where is it at? That's the storm that could be. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But where's my anomaly at? Oh, right there. That's the anomaly down around the Atlantic or Antarctica. This is the Pacific anomaly that is responsible for the La Nina, El Nino patterns right here. There it is. So you see a increase in CO2. That's interesting. Right at the equator of the Earth. Did you guys know, or do you care? I'll tell you anyway. Did you guys know that a hurricane cannot form at the equator? It's not possible. It is not possible. Had flood warnings, but didn't rain. Storms entering Elfrida area. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Let's keep the super chats going. That's my moderator. Thank you, moderator. Yeah, keep the super chats going. Thank you, Polenta, and all you guys that have sent super chats. There's Polenta's, the dancing pear. There's dancing pears in there. That's a super sticker, by the way, that Polenta shared. The God Within, that's a super chat. If you guys have any questions, send a super chat, send a super sticker, and we'll talk about it. I live in Alaska, and I'm using 13. Oh yeah, if you like the video, it does get it out there a little farther. But this is the Pacific anomaly. Spans a little over 1,000 miles. It varies in size each year, and this is what determines a lot of the weather patterns around the world. That area of the Earth right there determines the direction of the jet stream and how the moisture is delivered to various parts of the world, not just here in America, all around the world, up in the northern Atlantic, over in the UK, Europe, northern Africa, which they don't see a lot of rain, but these winds get stirred up every summer, it seems like, and we see the dust that gets hurled up into that gets aloft, and it seems to go against the traditional, the upper level jet streams. Anyway, there's lower, mid, upper. This is just, that is just a jewel. I don't like to see that. But yeah, I mean, that right there, believe it or not, has a huge impact on global weather patterns. Yes, it does. And that's something that we check regularly, not every day, once a week. Sure, absolutely once a week. This is something that we've been watching every day. The CO2 that's being stirred up off the seafloor. What? So the South Ocean is being stirred up. What's causing that? It could be a variety of things. You're welcome, Selena Williams. What's up, Selena? Forever's 12. Hey, Bob. Trent. What's going on, guys? Jesse Owens. Pinky McKinney. Diane Roel. Sound is low. Here, let me turn it up. Here's my sound right here. And guys, I got it on almost full blast. See this little guy right here? It controls this thing right here. So I can turn it up. Let me see how loud it is. I don't want to make it too loud. Remind me later. Let's turn it up. There you go. That's loud. So that if that's too loud, let me know, guys. I'll turn it down. I get people every once in a while saying, "Oh, your volume's low." No, it's not. In fact, well, I can't bring it over, but I have a meter right over here that's bouncing up into the yellow range. When it's into the yellow range, it's almost too loud. So I don't want to get too loud. But yeah, this is the situation down in Antarctica. There is a situation going on in the Southern Ocean that's being monitored by satellites. The ESA scientists are on it. That could affect global weather. Absolutely. The CMEs impacting the Earth can affect earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a big volcano eruption here real soon. Take your pick, you know. Kilauea, the Etna, you know. There's talk of Yellowstone. I don't think Yellowstone's going to erupt, but there is talk about it, you know, and it's just talk. Just talk. Nobody knows. Nobody knows for sure. Thank you, Polenta. I know my instrument over here says that the volume is all the way up to the top. In fact, it's entering the yellow. It goes green, yellow, and then red means it's too loud. So the volume should be good. I don't know why it would be too low unless you got your volume turned down on your end, guys. I have no idea. But that's why I went to this one, so we wouldn't have any sound issues. All right, guys. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, moderator, once again for your help. I appreciate all you do, keeping the chat friendly and kind. That's what we like. I'm always open to questions. I try to read as many of the comments as come through, but the afternoon video, we're all business. And again, I have 19 tabs open at the top. So I'm trying to manage 19 tabs, 10 videos at the bottom. So, so I have a lot of information I want to get to you guys in a you know, somewhat sensible pattern. So if I'm bouncing all over the place, you know, it doesn't come across sensible. So I try to stay all business in the afternoon. The morning live stream that we're doing is a little more casual. I spend more time in the chat room. I like to hang out in there with you guys. I really do. But the afternoon information, I sometimes some of the videos I've spent 2 or 3 days working on, not literally all day long, but I'll work on it a little bit each day until I finally get it tuned in just right so I can show it to you guys in its Sunday best. You know, I don't want to get a good video and then just share it as is when it could have been better. So some of the videos, well, not some, all the videos, I take my time and really do try to put them in their absolute best format. There's another super chat. Thank you, Tanya H. Did you see my post about the purple thing? Oh, you know what? I think I did, Tanya. I received something. Thank you, Tanya H. I received something, and I'll share it with you guys. Someone sent in a photo. I don't even know where the photo came from, but it looks like a replica of those purple things that Tanya's talking about. I shared with you guys the other day in a live stream, and I can share them again. They're quite interesting. Well, yeah, there's one, but in one of the videos still images, I put them side by side, or it side by side, and I just flipped the orientation and had one upside down, one and right side up. Very fascinating indeed. Thank you, Tanya. Still don't know what that is, but I don't have the picture right here available to share with you guys. I'll share it tomorrow. It's just an example of some sort of a futuristic spaceship that was in a movie that this guy saw that looked almost identical to what we saw with this purple object in the sky. That's totally mysterious. Thank you, Symerg, for the super chat. That's super cool. Thank you. Right on, man. Let me give you a like there. Hope I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, I apologize. Simmerge. Appreciate that. Very cool. Safe and effective. The purple space shrimp. That's right, Raven Firewolf. It was coined the purple space shrimp because of its unusual shape. And the feature on the front, some people were having a fit about that feature, the circle with the X on it. And that was superior quality. That was really good quality. That one I was able to get into 4K. So we had our Sunday best with that one, you know. We got right up close and didn't lose a lot of clarity, didn't gain a whole lot of pixelation. So we were able to put it in multiple formats and again, didn't lose hardly any quality. So we were able to look at that thing really, really good. Still a mystery, several thousand feet in the air. And it almost, someone said it looked like it had a stabilizing liquid in it that kept it stabilized, it kept it buoyant, because where it was at, it's typically kind of windy up there. So it looked like maybe it had its own power source. I don't know. Yellowstone update. Yellowstone's all good for right now. We've still got the wonky seismograph up here along the northern rim. Could be a bad sensor. Could be something that's causing the sensor to bounce all over the seismograph. I don't know. I know it's been like that for over a month, and these seismographs are in position to detect energy. So it could be ground movement. It could be a new geyser forming. It could be a faulty sensor. One of the three. Maybe it's this energy that's causing the flickering lights. Maybe it's affected that. I doubt it, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. I know, Tony, I saw the video about the bears moving around in Yellowstone. And then I was told, or my moderator told me, that the video of the bears was old. So that's why I didn't even share the video of the bears this afternoon, because if it was an old video, then it wasn't relevant to, you know, what's going on today. So that's why I didn't share it. So, but I saw that too. Hey, Cindy Lou, what's up, Amy Sue? I know, Raven. I saw the article about the animals moving south away from the Yellowstone National Park, or moving south in the national park, like they were moving away from the supervolcano caldera. But again, I'm getting mixed information sources, so I honestly don't know how true that is. So I got to do some more research before we elaborate on it too much more, because I heard the bear video was old. Not so sure about the bison. The bison photo might be old. I think the lion video was old too. So that's why I didn't really bring it up this afternoon, because I want to do some more research. Even though the article that we saw was dated the 15th today, I want to make sure the information's accurate. So we'll get back to it. The sky is purple right now in Norway. Thank you, Submerge. That's cool. What's going on in Norway? Purple sky. We're not having any type of geomagnetic storms, are we, that are sneaking up already? A small one, 12 hours ago. Selah, stranger things have happened. You're right. I heard cats were gathering near Miami. I don't know about that, Jennifer. I don't know. Thank you guys for all your support. The Grand Canyon. Humpty Bumptua, yes, the Grand Canyon. There's a big wildfire at the Grand Canyon. Yes, indeed. We talked about that yesterday, and I looked for it today. I was going to share it in today's video, but it must be super windy up there, because I didn't see any of the wildfire smoke via satellite like I did the day before. In fact, we had wildfire smoke all the way down here in Phoenix from northern Arizona, from the Grand Canyon. Because the wind was pushing it south. But yes, there is a fire at the Grand Canyon. Yes, indeed. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate all your support, all your likes, your super chats, and just thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to do it again tomorrow. I'm going to hop off here. It's 5:28 in Arizona, 8:28 on the East Coast. It is getting close to dinner time. I'm going to go grab something to eat. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a super day and be safe out there.